And we're back, guys. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Good Energy. I give you the rundown on tennis coverage every day, and you've probably heard the news. Iga Swiatek has now hired Wim Fissette as her new coach after parting ways with Thomas Wikarowski. What would be the next move? A lot of people thought, and Iga said it herself, she wanted to hire a coach, someone outside of Poland, and she made some pretty interesting statements that I've been speaking about for a long time. Look, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it looks like Iga Swiatek is making changes to have a very long career. And from her current style of play, that's something that I've questioned and I've been concerned about her longevity. She's very aggressive, and these short rally winners, these short rallies, I'm not sure if she can have a long career as her body starts to slow down, as her athletic ability starts to fade. With her current style of play, I've been concerned about that. And this might be the guy to give her that longevity. Wim Fissette, ladies and gentlemen. I personally think Patrick is the best coach out there. He helped Serena win 10 Grand Slams, currently working with Osaka. But it's like musical coaches right now. You can make the case that Wim Fissette is the best coach in terms of developing players. You can make the argument that he's the best coach on tour overall. I mean, I think Stefanos, he's a free agent. He is a great coach, but there's a lot of rumors surrounding him. So I think a lot of players are possibly scared to pick him up because, there's a lot going on with Elena Rybakina. I don't want to get into that. I don't have the details. When Elena Rybakina is ready to talk, she's been mentioning that for a while now. I think we'll be informed by her, and she'll let us know what the deal is with that situation, because from what I'm hearing, it doesn't look good, and it's quite scary, and it could even be something that's criminal. But nonetheless, Wim Fissette, guys, he's developed some of the best players ever to play the game. I mean, he's worked with Vika, Petra Kvitova, Sarah Irani, Joanna Konta, Queenwin. He's worked with Osaka, Simona Halep, Kim Clusters, guys, Sabine Lisicki. And I want to take a look at some of the players he's worked with and some of the results he's had as a coach. Vika, we saw him join her camp in 2015. 15 and 16. She had one of her best seasons in 2015, 35 and 13. She won the Indian Wells, one of only a handful of players to win the Sunshine Double, to win 2 Indian Wells championships. Vika, amazing talent, still one of the few players on tour to have multiple Grand Slams. Now, he didn't win a slam with Vika, but we saw a lot of improvements with her game. What about Sarah Irani, ladies and gentlemen? That's right. Now, he worked with Irani briefly. She didn't have one of her best seasons overall, a very short season, but we saw her win Dubai, one of her biggest championships on the main tour, and we all know she's a Hall of Famer when it comes to doubles. Her and Jasmine Polini doing some amazing things. Joanna Konta, we saw him have an amazing tenure with Joanna Konta. And listen, for you guys that have been following me for many years, even on my previous channel, you all know I've been saying for years, Joanna Konta could come. She had a baby. She can come back now and play tennis. One of the most technical tennis players ever. Why? Coached by Wim Fissette. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, I also say that about Osaka. It's Wim. He's an amazing coach. Joanna Konta had one of her best stretches as a professional with Wim Fissette. Listen, guys, she literally has over 420 wins for her career, right? We saw her win 3 huge championships while being coached by Wim Fissette. Actually, 3 of her 4 championships overall. Miami, Sydney, San Jose. Miami's a master 1,000. And I'm pretty sure Sydney and San Jose were 500s. Maybe one of those was 1,000. But listen, guys, huge championships. Again, one of her best winning seasons on tour. Actually, in terms of the tenure with Wim Fissette, of her 5 most winning seasons, 2 of them came under Wim Fissette. Amazing coach. What about Queenwin, ladies and gentlemen? We all know how amazing Queenwin is now, but Wim had a huge part in that. Now, we know about the cat fight, the drama when Osaka came back. She took Wim from Queenwin. Queenwin said she was upset. She wanted to kill people. She was so angry. She was angry at the world. But look at the improvements under Wim Fissette. She had her 2 winningest seasons under Wim Fissette. And of course, Reba took over later in the year when Wim went back with Osaka. 39 wins, 22 and 23, 39 wins, followed by 42 wins. She won Palermo, and by the time she won Zhengzhou, we all know Reba was in the camp there, and Wim was with Osaka. But again, amazing things. We've seen the improvements with the forehand. Her technical ball striking much better under Wim Fissette. What about Kim Clijsters, ladies and gentlemen? 2 U.S. Open championships, 4 Masters, 53 and 10 under Wim Fissette. Amazing coach, Hall of Famer, Savine Lisicki. She's got, look, the fastest serve on record. Listen, one of her best seasons under Wim Fissette, 36 and 18. That was 2013. Simona Halep in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Look, 2 titles under Wim Fissette, 49 and 18. One of her best win seasons on tour under Wim Fissette. Amazing progress. Petra Kvitova. Listen, guys. Wim worked with her in 2016. She won the Elite Trophy. She won Wuhan. Now, personally, I think Petra, if you take a look at someone like Linda Noskova, I think David Katja, I think he had the biggest influence on Petra. I mean, you could see what he's doing with Linda, but what Wim did with Petra is amazing. Elite Trophy Championship. Yeah, big stuff there. Osaka, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Wim worked with Osaka for, I guess we should really talk about the first stretch with Osaka, right? Where he helped Osaka win 2 slams, U.S. Open and the Australian Open. Osaka had a 70% win percentage with Wim under their first stretch. Since then, she's literally winning less than 60% of her matches, about 55% of her matches. Under Wim, 70% win percentage, 2 slam titles, the U.S. Open and the Australian Open during their first stretch. And I've said this time and time again, Osaka's the most technical ball striker on tour. How many times have I said that? Wim Fissette had a huge part to play in that. Her forehand is textbook. Serving, textbook. One of the best servers, right, during that stretch. About 8 aces per match. A lot of people don't realize how powerful her serve is. Osaka, backhand, clean, just clean ball striking. Wim Fissette, huge influence. Angelique Kerber, multiple slam champion, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Hall of Famer, crafty lefty. I mean, at one point, she was training to just beat Serena. Wim Fissette, huge influence on her career, amazing talent. But let's talk about Thomas Wikarowski. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I think Iga has a point, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I've talked about her gameplay, and it's weird. It seems like all the stuff I've been talking about the last few years, they're starting to come true. Do you guys notice that? I've talked about how concerned I've been with Iga Swiatek and that short rally, aggressive style. I've talked about there's no way that's going to last her entire career or give her a long career. Once her athletic ability fades, she's not going to be able to hang in there with these rallies because we've seen her get tired. We've seen her hold up her racket and delay players while she catches her breath and her stamina. As you age, that's not going to work. Iga Swiatek said it herself today. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now, bringing on Wim Fissette, I expect to see a lot of change in her game. Longer rallies, more technical ball striking. Now, her striking now, it's aggressive. I don't necessarily think it's clean. It's effective. It's highly effective, but I don't necessarily think it's clean ball striking. Now, under Thomas, listen, guys, he joined Iga Swiatek. We all know in that 21 WTA finals, she was the weakest performer there, along with Barbora Krejcikova. It's well documented. I'm not the only person on record saying that. All of the experts, all the commentators, they all said it. Her serving was horrible. She was the worst player in Mexico at that 21 WTA championship finals. She was the worst of all 8. That's documented. But Thomas came on. She had that amazing 22 season. 19 of her 22 titles, 19 of her 22 championships, Thomas was there. 4 of her 5 slams, Thomas was there. That huge, amazing win percentage on clay overall since the 22 season, when she took the tour by storm, Thomas has been there. But again, it's been that short rally, aggressive, amazing footwork, amazing defense, smother you type of style. Where you get older, it's just not going to work. However, though, I think she could have at least, I mean, Iga's, how old is Iga now? I want to say 23 years old. Listen, guys, maybe a couple more years, once you hit your mid 20s, maybe make the change. I think it's too premature. I think Thomas deserves a little bit more respect, for all he's done to help Iga get to this point. And again, she said nothing but good things about him. This is just my personal opinion. I think the departure was a little bit too soon, but a lot of Polish fans, they've been coming to the channel stating that. And Iga said it herself. She wanted a coach outside of Poland. I just think to kind of, because Iga mentioned when she travels outside of Poland, people don't really recognize her. So maybe going with the coach like Wim Fissette that everyone knows, that could help possibly. But we haven't seen much of Iga Swiatek since the U.S. Open. And the reality here is, I think with all the things that's going on in Poland overall, she's just taking some personal time. She said she had some personal issues she wants to address. But seeing her at the WTA finals, what can we expect? What can we expect? Can Wim have an effect on her game so fast, so immediately? I do think so. I do think it's possible. I think it's possible because look at all the talent he's developed so quickly. I mean, we're talking about Joanna Konta, one of the cleanest ball strikers. Worked with her for a couple seasons. 2 of her 5 top winningest seasons under Wim Fissette. 3 of her 4 championships, her biggest championship, the Miami Open, under Wim Fissette. Look what he did with Kim Clusters, multiple slam championships. Osaka, her highest winning percentage as a professional. Queenwin, her 2 biggest seasons as a professional in terms of win percentage. He will have an effect on Iga Swiatek. But the one concern I have is if it's extending the rallies, I think that's going to take a lot more of her athletic ability away, her amazing footwork. We'll probably see her defensive numbers drop, and we'll probably start to see her become a little bit more beatable as she starts to play tennis. This is what Wim Fissette does. He develops you into a tennis player. Now, I do think a great coach takes what his player does best and helps them improve that. Now, Wim's a very versatile coach. He'll be able to come with the proper game plan to help Iga Swiatek grow and develop into the next stage of her career as her athletic ability dies down a little bit. I talked about how when players reach that 30-year age mark and older, they don't make Grand Slams. There's only been 2 ladies the last 15 years over the age of 30 to make a Grand Slam final, and one of them is Serena Williams. So if we look at the window of her career, Iga's probably looking at, look, she's got 7 more years to be dominant. At 6 maybe, right? So bringing on Wim now could be a move there. Personally, I thought she looked fine at the U.S. Open, but the big argument with Iga Swiatek has been outside of clay, and listen, all the experts, Davenport's on record saying this at the U.S. Open, all the experts have said it. Right now, Sabalenka is the queen of hard court tennis. And right behind her is Coco Gauff, the future of tennis, who at the age of 20 is the youngest player to hit 70 wins at master events. So when we're talking about the hard court players that dominate right now, it's Sabalenka and Coco. Iga's not a dominant force on hard court. She hasn't really done well at the Australian Open. She's a U.S. Open champion. We can understand that. And she does have a lot of hard court championships. But the reality here is when the slams, and look, she's a sunshine double winner. We all know that. But when the slams come around the Australian Open, she hasn't done well there. And if we go back outside of the French Open, the slams in general, the last couple of years, look, she hasn't gone deep. So what is Wim going to do? Overall, I think he's going to improve her career. He's going to make her a better ball striker. He's going to help her extend rallies. I think he's going to possibly improve her serve a little bit, even though I think her ball placement is pretty good. And the way Thomas helped her develop a new serve in 3 days last January literally was amazing. She struggled at first during the Australian Open. I said, that new serve will concern me, but she worked out the kinks. And kudos to her because Coco's still struggling with her serve. But nonetheless, guys, what do you think? Is it a good move or not? We haven't seen Iga Swiatek since the U.S. Open when Jessica Pegula took her out, but she had an amazing match here taking out Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. But comment below, guys. What's next for Iga Swiatek? Is it a good move? Do you like it or not? Tennis in a minute. I can't say it's a bad move, but I just think that Thomas probably deserved another year or two because Iga didn't have a bad season. What, 5 titles this year? Another French Open? She didn't have a bad season. It's like she's forfeiting her #1 spot. Again, she has personal issues she's dealing with, but it's like she's literally giving up her #1 spot to Sabalenka. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment below. Tennis in a minute. We'll be back. I do think it's a good move, but I just don't like how at least wait till the season's over. One more WTA finals with Thomas, I felt would have been more respectful. But hey, she's the boss. We'll be back.